Page. My name is Alison, certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with busy professional women to move them from frustrated with dating and many times underwhelmed with the dating process to in being in healthy, happy, committed relationships, engaged and married. And today I'm hopping on live because I wanted to teach one of the fundamental elements of a successful relationship. Now, a successful relationship is like the end goal, right? Like that's where we want to be. We want to be healthy, we want to be happy, we want to be fulfilled, and you want to do whatever the things are that you would define as fulfillment, right? For some people, it might be starting a family, creating generational wealth, traveling the world, whatever that might look like. So that's the end goal, a healthy, committed relationship. Many times that leads to marriage that's also healthy, right? And so the interesting thing, though, is that we don't realize that there are so many steps that have to happen before we get to healthy, committed relationship that leads to marriage. So we have this end goal in our mind, we have this vision in our mind, but we don't recognize and realize that there are so many factors that are required for us to do and to work through and to put in the effort and energy for in order for us to get to that end result. So today I'm talking about one of the most fundamental steps, one of the most fundamental skills that you would need in order for you to be able to fulfill the or create the relationship that you desire. You guys with me? Okay. So we are talking about vetting and discernment. Vetting and discernment. Vetting and discernment. Now, for the sake of this conversation and for the sake of dating and relationships, we're going to be defining vetting and discernment slightly differently. Okay. So for the sake of argument, this is how you're going to roll with me. And this is how I help my clients. This is what I teach to them that gets them to that end goal of a healthy, committed relationship. So number one, we need to understand that vetting for the purpose of dating and relationships is the process that we would use in order to assess and gather information about a potential partner. All we're doing is gathering information. That's the vetting process, right? We are seeing whether or not we believe they are an appropriate match. We are gathering information to see if they are in alignment with us, their morals, their values, their interests. We are asking questions. We're paying attention to behaviors so that we can assess whether or not they're an appropriate match. That's the vetting, okay? Many times people misuse or interchange vetting and discernment like it's the same thing, and it's not. Discernment is, now that I have the information, what am I going to do about it? Am I actually going to take that information and then execute something that is intelligent, that is logical, that is reasonable, right? So many times we might vet and we get the information, and I'm going to go with the negative for the sake of argument, right? Hi, LA. For the sake of argument, I'm going to be a little negative. Forgive me. So we gather the information, and the information is something along the lines of the gentleman is not financially sound. Okay, this gentleman doesn't manage his finances well. He's in great debt. The debt is not reasonable debt, like student debt in a career that makes sense. He's a doctor, he's a lawyer, makes sense. No, right? Like, he's not financially sound. This is the vetting. We have figured out the information. Now, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, right? So many times we will get that information and we'll excuse it off. Oh, well, people make mistakes. Oh, well, I could work with that. Oh, well, whatever that might look like, right? So we excuse away the behavior, and then we're surprised when that behavior begins to bite us in the behind later on. We're surprised. Okay. So what do we have to do? We have to vet. We have to gather the information. We have to ask the right questions. We have to pay attention to the right behaviors so that we can assess whether or not someone is an appropriate match. That's the vetting. We're gathering the information. Now, once we have the information, we then have to make intelligent decisions based on said information. We have to then say, now that I know this thing, this is how I'm going to move forward or not. And many times that's the disconnect. People say, oh, my picker is broken. That's what they mean. Vetting is step one. Discernment is step two. So now, how do we vet? How do we gather the information? And then from gathering the information, how do we make intelligent decisions? Okay. So number one, vetting. How do we get the information? Number one, you need to be super clear about exactly what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership. You need to be super clear about what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership. Why? Because once you're clear about what you want out of a partner, the man, the woman, or the partnership, what the relationship looks like, what do we do together? Now you'd be in a position to ask the right questions and pay attention to the right behaviors to assess if that person's a good match for you. So let me give you an example. Again, if you are just coming in, my name is Alison, certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with busy professional women to move them from frustrated with dating to happily married. This is one of the most important steps, if not the most important step. This is the foundation of your house. This is the basement. This is the electrical. This is the plumbing. Okay, y'all be talking about the curtains and the couches, and I'm talking about your basement. I'm talking about the subfloor. I'm talking about your water heater, okay? In order for you to be able to create the healthy, committed relationship that you desire that leads to marriage, you need to be able to vet and assess. So I am going to be teaching a training live on Thursday, February the 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern, called The Partner You Deserve. It's the same name as my 6-month coaching program. That's the one where you see all of the testimonials, the engagements, the rings, right? So I'll be teaching a free training. I wish I'm not that good at YouTube, y'all. I wish that I knew how to pin a comment or write a comment while I'm on live, but I don't. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to any link that you see that's in, it should be in the description right now. Any link that's in my bio, click around Instagram, YouTube, you will see it. And then once this video is done, I'll be sure to pin it in the comments. It's already in the description, all the things. Okay, good. So the foundation of successful dating. Now, I see some folks on the live. I appreciate you, but there are way more people on the live than they are liking this video. So make sure you like it. What's the link so I can send it to my homegirls? I'm going to... LA, how about you do me a favor? How about you go get the link and put it in the comments and then I can pin it. So if you go to like the bio that's on my YouTube right here, if you go to my Instagram at Align with Alison, it says Partner You Deserve. You bring it back for me, do me a favor, and then I'll pin it, okay? So you can share with everybody. All right, good. And make sure you come back and don't forget about me. Vetting and discernment. This is the foundation of successful dating. So number one, how do you vet? Then how do you discern? So vetting is actually the easier part. You need to be clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership. Once you're clear, you can then generate all the questions that you need. So I'm going to give you an example that makes sense in your everyday life, right? You know exactly how you want to get your hair done. You are going on vacation. You are coming with me to the Ready, Set, Love retreat in Tulum, Mexico in April. You are going on vacation and you know exactly how you want to do your hair. You want to get faux locks, okay? You know exactly what you want. Once you now know exactly what you want, I need faux locks because I'm going on vacation. Where I'm going is hot. I need to make sure that my natural hair is protected, that I can be free in the pool and the beach and all that kind of thing. So I know exactly what I want. I want faux locks. Now that you know what you want, what can you do? You find the hairstylist who does the hairstyle, the faux locks that you want for your vacation. If you are not clear about exactly what you want, which is faux locks, then you're going to be looking at people who have braiding pages. You're going to be looking at people who do ponytails. You're going to be looking at half up, half down. You're going to be texting your friends saying, hey girl, can you send me a stylist? They're going to be sending you stylists that don't even do what you need them to do because you're not clear. So first you need to be clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership. How does this person show up in the world? What are the behaviors and traits that they exhibit? What are their morals and values? Why is that important to you? Do you have the same morals and values? Do you have the same skill sets that you're asking of other people? You need to figure out exactly what you want first. Then you can generate the questions and the behaviors that you need to be able to ask and observe so that you can assess whether or not that person has those things. I'll give you an example. Let's say one of the things that your guy has to have is that he has to be Christian, right? You need him to be a believer in Christ, okay? So what are some of the questions I'm going to ask? What are some of the behaviors I'm going to pay attention to? I'm going to ask him, do you believe in a higher power? Now, I know that higher power is not language that, people like to use because it sounds very lofty. However, I'm going to phrase it that way because I don't want that person to feel excluded if their answer is not God or Christ or Jesus. Why is that important to me? I want that person to be telling me the truth. So I'm going to want to make that person feel as comfortable as possible when I ask questions so that they're more likely to answer me honestly. I'm also going to ask hard questions before I go on my first date. Why? As much as humanly possible, if not by the end of the first date. Why? Because the longer that someone spends time with me, the more time they've invested, the more money they've invested, they are more likely to lie to me than not. Versus a chick that they kind of met in passing, or a chick that they spent a lot of time and money with. A chick who's met their friends and family. Oh gosh. Now you're asking questions? Absolutely not. Because they're going to be more inclined to lie. So I'm going to ask the questions early. So do you believe in a higher power? Let's see what their answer is, right? Behaviors. So you talk to them every Sunday. They never mention that they go to church, right? You ask them what they like to do for fun. They've never mentioned anything about I play on the church's basketball team, or I volunteer here, or I do this, right? So you're looking for someone who is a follower, who's a believer. They don't go to church. You ask them, do they believe in a higher power? They gave you a finicky answer. What are we saying here, right? So again, first you need to be clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner. That's the person. And a partnership. That's the relationship. What do I mean by the relationship? What is the fruit that the two of you are going to come together and bear? So for some people, it might be generational wealth. If that's a non-negotiable for you, an absolute must, he and I are going to create generational wealth. We're going to make sure our children's college tuition is paid for. We're going to put down a deposit for their first house. We're going to pay for whatever that looks like for you, however you define it, properties, a car, whatever, okay? You define that first. And then from there, we're going to assess whether or not that person wants the same things. Ask them about their upbringing, right? Find out, what kind of family that they're coming from. Siblings, parents, are they still with us? They went to school. Did they have to take out loans? Right? And then once you start having these conversations about their upbringing, then they're going to start talking about the things that they liked about it and the things that they didn't like, the things that they want to correct in the future. So I might, if you guys were to ask me that question, I would say, my mom was able to foot the bill for my undergrad at Brooklyn College. Luckily, it was a CUNY school, city of New York. So super affordable. I was lucky enough. My mom was able to write the check, but she told me for my master's degree, I'm on my own. So unfortunately, I had to kind of take out loans for that. But right. So that's my story that I'm telling y'all. Someone's going to do the same thing. So make sure that you are asking questions to see what their childhood was like, what their upbringing was like, what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it, what they would do differently for their children. And then that's going to give you some insight as to, do they want what I want? Do they intend on even having children? If that's a must for you, or if that's a non-must for you, right? So again, I am covering, for those who are just coming in, I'm covering vetting and discernment, the foundation, the basement, the electrics and the plumbing of your house that will be your committed relationship that's healthy and happy is going to be vetting, asking the right questions, paying attention to the right behaviors so you can assess whether or not someone's a good match for you. That is literally more important than anything else. Y'all be asking me about apps. Y'all be asking me, I don't care about anybody's app if you don't know what to ask these people. If you can't tell whether or not they're lying. If you ask too late so they begin to lie because they like you too much, okay? So vetting. And I'm going to be teaching all of this at my free training, The Partner You Deserve, which is on Thursday, February the 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern. It will be absolutely live on Zoom. You do have to register in advance. The last time I checked, there were 24 seats left. So make sure you take advantage. One of our viewers was supposed to come bring us back the link. She hasn't come back yet. So unfortunately, I am not that tech savvy. So I don't want to leave the Zoom. I don't want to leave this live on YouTube. Go get the link in Zoom and come back. So if there's anybody who is going to be kind enough to either go into the bio here on YouTube, or you can click the link in my bio on Instagram. It will say Partner You Deserve free training. Click it, bring the link. I know how to pin it. So help us out. If not, it'll be available as soon as this live is done. So we've covered vetting. Be clear on exactly what you want out of the partner. Be clear. You put it? I don't see it, LA. I see all the comments, but I don't see that one. Okay? So we're clear on vetting. We're now going into discernment. After this, I'm wrapping it up. And again, LA, sorry we don't see it, but if not, it'll be in the comments once I'm done with the live. So discernment. Now that you've gathered the information, this is a harder part. This part is mental. Once you have gathered the information, you need to stay 10 toes down in what you have decided are non-negotiables, are absolute musts. What does that mean? So again, you've decided what you want out of the partner. You've decided what you want out of the partnership. You've gathered the information to assess whether or not this person is that person for you and they can deliver in the relationship that you're looking to create. Once you've gathered that information, if they measure up, great. Continue to see them, continue to assess. If they don't measure up, what do I mean? We gave the example of generational wealth. I want to be able to establish wealth for generations to come. That is super important to me for the children's and the children's children, okay? If this person says, well, I got it out the mud, so I expect everybody else to, and my parents didn't give me anything, and I figured it out so that my kids got to figure it out too, that is an inappropriate match. Because one of my non-negotiables was creating generational wealth for my children and my children's children. He said he got it out the mud, so he expects his kids to get it out the mud. He said his parents made him figure it out, and that made him a stronger person, so he wants his kids to go figure it out. That is directly out of alignment with what I want to create with my partner. And so dating him, continuing to date him would be ridiculous. The discernment is staying 10 toes down in what I said I would not do moving forward. That's the discernment. It's a lot easier than people like to think that it is, but it's harder because it's all on you. It requires you to stay true to what you said were non-negotiables. This will be my last point to all of you. And then again, I'm going to have a full-length training, The Partner You Deserve, which is going to be on Thursday, February the 13th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay? So, and again, I'll make sure that the link is already in the description. I'll make sure that the link is in the comments so you guys can register. There's only 24 seats left. Okay. So, you need to stay 10 toes down. If you say that's your thing, that's your ting. All right? Now, how do you stay? What I tell people, what I tell my clients when I work with them in my coaching program, The Partner You Deserve, I tell them, I need you to only make 6 non-negotiables for the behaviors and traits, right? So I said, you have to have behaviors and traits that you hold these people accountable to. That's an absolute must. So what are some examples? God-fearing, hardworking, family-oriented, kind-hearted, loving, affectionate. You come up with your 6. Everyone's 6 is going to be different. I tell you 6. Why? Because if I let y'all have 30, you would have 30. You would OD. And then you're creating a bot, someone who does not exist. 6 non-negotiables must have, line in the sand. That way you're not asking for too much, but you are asking for the most important core things. Okay? Does he have these 6 things? Then for your relationship goal, right? What the relationship looks like, you create one relationship goal. My husband and I are going to blank, and you hold them accountable to that. That way you know that you're not doing too much. Other things you may be able to be flexible with, other things you might be able to add on once a relationship exists, but this fundamental thing is I'm going to stick to it. And that's going to help you to have the discernment that you're looking for. Discernment is hard, but it's not hard. It's hard because it's all about you, but it's easy because it's all about you, right? Once you've gathered the information. Okay. All right, beautiful people. So I'm going to exit stage left. I'm going to make sure that I put the link as soon as this live is done. I'm also going to go into Instagram land and I'm going to do the same video. So if you are coming in late and you want to see it live, you don't want to wait for it to upload and do all the things that YouTube does, or you just want to engage with me, come meet me on Instagram. I will be there in 2 minutes. I'm going to end this live right here. I'm going to put the link for you to register for the free training, The Partner You Deserve, where I go through all the steps necessary to go from unfulfilled in your dating and relationship life to a healthy, committed relationship that leads to marriage on Thursday the 13th. All right? See you.